about what bullshit it is and how it's bipartisan trash, and like they're
With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus. So how can you get started using Globus? Anyone can use Globus right now for free to transfer files between Globus-enabled systems. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate robust capabilities. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data. With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many thousands face the same challenges every day and solve them with Globus. So what's Globus? So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate robust capabilities. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data.
Yo. Yo. What up, though? Thank you to everyone who is here now, who is going to be here in the future, for joining me on Memorial Day. I would have to assume that a lot of people are doing family things, and your attendance is noted and appreciated. Today we're going to be talking with Changebox, a member of the community and a streamer themselves. If you're not aware. little bit later on this week, we will be talking with Corey Campbell, getting an update on the AI within the biochemistry sphere. And then on Friday, we'll be talking with Arun. There may or may not be additional stream this week. One or two potentially. It depends on how all the things come together. Today's stream is probably going to run long, as there's a whole bunch of news that needs to be attended to, and hasn't been. And I want to make sure I bring it to your attention and that I get it to the Discord, so it is there in the future. All right. And to me. Oh, that's what I'm missing. If I'm singing, that means there's no music. And we're waiting. There we go. That. Okay. We're all set up there. We're all set up there. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. We're actually, after we speak with Changebox, one of the things I want to get to is we talked the other day about the Uncanny Valley and how computer and movie CGI characters don't quite look real, and we're going to be taking a look at some of the options available in Unreal Engine. So we got a little video on that as well. And I don't take offense. Hello, Ferris. I don't take offense at, based on activity, because I know that a lot of people have me on as like background. Say hi to the people, Ferris. Say hi, Ferris. All right. That's it. That's about 10 minutes. Yeah, we're going to watch this video right now. And that should eat up the time until we're ready to speak with Changebox. Boom, bang. Trying to take advantage of the two monitors more, so. You might see a little of this. All right. Fire this video real fast.
So wouldn't it be great if we could have this level of deformation complexity but able to evaluate in real time? Well, what we are now able to do is to use machine learning to compress that simulation data into a format that can be evaluated at runtime. So you are looking at our ML character with deformations driven by full muscle, flesh, and cloth simulation from Houdini. It's running in real time and on PS5. It's taking around 1/10 of a millisecond on CPU for network inference, and as you see it here, around 1 millisecond on GPU for morph target evaluation. So this is a fully generalized model. We have not just trained it on the cinematic animation that we can see here. So on the left is the nearest neighbor model with just the PCA layer active, and on the right, you can see how the additional nearest neighbor set improves the fold reconstruction. So to help generate the optimal set of nearest neighbor poses, we have implemented a k-means pose generator. So given a set of target animations, so typically these would be your game or cinematic animations, and a max pose value, it will generate a set of poses that most efficiently cover that animation space. We simulated our clothing for these additional poses in Houdini, and then we trained our additional nearest neighbor set using this data.
I mean, come on.
We'd love for you to come and chat to us at a booth. You can get hands-on with this demo. You can change cameras, switch between musculoskeletal, flesh, and clothing layers. You can pause the action, and you can see the deformation result both with and without ML Deformer running.
Our guiding vision for MetaHuman has been the democratization of complex character technologies, allowing you to work faster and see the results immediately. A character is only truly believable if its motion fidelity matches its visual fidelity, but animating at this level is a hard task for even the most skilled studios. Some of our best work leveraged 4D capture, but this took specialized hardware and weeks or even months of processing time. While MetaHuman Creator gave you the ability to generate high-quality characters, animating them still wasn't as easy. This is why I'm very excited to announce a new capability to the MetaHuman product, MetaHuman Animator. MetaHuman Animator contains the essence of our 4D pipeline, but optimized to run on a single machine. It is able to use iPhone, as well as stereo professional systems, and today, we're going to demonstrate how it works. For this, we're going to need Mel, our technician John Cook, and just the phone. Mel, can you take your position, please?
Sure.
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Okay, and action.
I need performance capture to work like a mirror. I need it to capture whether I'm acting scared or angry. And sometimes, all I need is a look.
Cut. Thanks, Mel, that was great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. Our technician, John, is currently pulling Mel's performance from the phone onto his machine, where everything will be processed locally. We have updated our LiveLink Face mobile app to capture all data at the best resolution possible with the device. MetaHuman Animator uses video and depth data to convert this data into high-fidelity performance animation, and it can even use audio to produce convincing tongue animation. John is currently scrubbing through the take to pick the section that he wants to process. John, are we all good with the data? Awesome. So from now on, it's just a single button click to kick off the processing, which for a performance of this length will take less than a minute to convert into animation. So Mel, while that is processing, let me show you something else.
Yep. Oh, is that me?
Yeah, this is what we refer to as your MetaHuman DNA.
Cool. And this is generated by the capture we made earlier, right?
Yeah, that's right. So from only 3 frames of video and depth data, we can generate a rig that predicts all of your facial expressions in just a couple of minutes.
Wow. And do you only need to do this once for each actor?
Yes, that's right. It calibrates the solver to your face so that we can produce the performance in a way that faithfully reproduces your original performance.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So let's check back on the processing, which today is on the latest CPU and GPU hardware from AMD. MetaHuman Animator uses a custom Epic facial solver and landmark detector. We can interactively look at the animation while it's being solved and compare it to your original performance. So it looks like it's almost finished. After this, it's going to do one more pass to make the curves more stable, which is really quick. And from here on, we just need to export the animation. This takes only a few seconds. And then John needs to drop it in the level and add the audio so that we can see the result. So Mel's MetaHuman should now be ready in the level. Mel, you excited to see the results?
Yeah, can't wait to see it. I need performance capture to work like a mirror. I need it to capture whether I'm acting scared or angry. And sometimes, all I need is a look.
That's impressive. Still a little uncanny valley with the mouth, but like, I mean, for allegedly on the fly, which I will grant them the benefit of the doubt that they did that in real time. That it's are you not amazed? I mean, come on.
Thank you all. So, Mel, what do you think?
I think it's incredible because it usually takes months between performance capture and getting any results back, so this is blowing my mind.
And all of this is solved directly onto animator-friendly controls. In this case, we are using a bespoke 4D rig, which we created together with Ninja Theory for Hellblade 2, but it's also ready to use on any MetaHuman or any other rig that follows our new MetaHuman standard.
And like just the way that her mouth like kind of was shaped, but again, like, you know, we're nitpicking at the edges, and I'm sure that if you actually spend some time with it, that you can make those adjustments.
Let's have a look at that.
I need performance capture to work like a mirror. I need it to capture whether I'm acting scared or angry. And sometimes, all I need is a look.
So the scene take works even on stylized characters. Thank you all. These technologies are completely redefining our creative process, as they will redefine yours when we release MetaHuman Animator to everyone in just a couple of months. We've got one more thing we'd like to show you. We haven't forgotten about the needs for full performance capture shoots. What you're about to see is animation that has not been polished or edited in any way, and it took MetaHuman Animator just minutes to process start to finish.
Yeah, so here's one of my favorite lines from Ninja Theory's upcoming game, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and I really hope you enjoy it and the rest of the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sign, perf, cut, take.
Okay, we're gonna pause on this. Perfect place to do it. And change box is ready, so we're gonna get into our conversation. And just give me a second to do all of the things. Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
There it is. Okay. And then where did it delete? No, there it is. Okay. Oh, I lost you. You there?
Yeah, I'm trying to join voice and it's dumping me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did it dump you when you went to turn on the camera?
No, it dumped me when I clicked the join voice button right in the middle here. I've got you in the upper right hand corner. Let me see. Can I go? There we go. We're good. Camera. Look at that. I'm a tech genius.
All right, I just have to put in the window capture. And then just edit it real quick. All right, and we are go. I'm getting better at this.
Right? It's not easy. There's a lot to do.
There is.
I wish there was a way to have like a producer or something work from a remote location on the same controls that you have going in front of you.
Okay, so there's a thing called Video Ninja that can do something exactly like that, and a lot of people talk about Video Ninja as superior for this type of thing to Discord. I messed around with it a little bit. I think it's definitely a thing where you got to kind of get some more practice going on in order to really embrace it. You know what I mean?
Of course. Everything is that way, right? All of life is that way.
Yeah. So now that you have the chance to introduce yourself to chat, why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you're about and where you can be found in the media spaces?
Cool. Free advertising. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
So my name is Changebox. My channel is Dark Seas, and sort of been fleshing out what exactly Dark Seas is. But I've come down to it is investigating dark topics without fear or prejudice. So exploring things that might otherwise not be talked about. The most obvious example is death, but without making it macabre or something difficult to talk about. It should be something easier to talk about. And I think there are a lot of subjects that deserve that. AI is one of them.
Mm-hmm. And to reflect on that, there's definitely with the way that Western culture and, specifically like Western religions that involve an afterlife have kind of separated us, and to an extent modernization has separated us from what is a perfectly natural process of, ceasing to exist. And a lot, if you go outside of, the Western Christian philosophies, people have a much more organic, like, beautiful interaction with death as a concept.
Sure. Well, it's very cultural.
Yeah.
How people are impacted by death. We can treat it any way we like. The humans are capable of amazing things and horrible things and amazingly horrible things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of what I do on my channel. I'm currently doing a review of Eliezer Yudkowsky interview and his forecast of doom for the world. Currently, I'm hung up both on Nate Hagens, who is from The Great Simplification and talks about energy limits that we're going to run into shortly, and Daniel Schmachtenberger, who is, I don't really know how to describe him, just a thinker, I guess.
Yeah,
so
Daniel,
I've been doing. Go ahead.
He's weird, but like my kind of weird, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And he will get you, if you let him run, he will get you to where he's trying to get you, which I appreciate. Building up your scaffolding from like the ground level all the way up to your point is a lost art,
Yeah, I'm 3 hours into watching an interview of him, and the guest asked, okay, so originally the question was this, can we get there? And he said, Oh, we're very far from there, but let me try to speed this up as much as I can.
Right on.
Yeah, the groundwork that has to be laid is amazing. And I think just by chance, I happen to receive most of that information throughout my life in little bits and pieces. But when he sits down and spits it out all at once, it's a wonder to behold. I wish I had that command of the language and my thoughts as he did,
Yeah.
as he does.
No, absolutely. So on that subject, let's talk about AI and what we're looking at. I feel like based on our conversations, me on the screen and you in chat, that you have a more is pessimistic the proper word to use?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely, and there's a bit of semantics, I think, in my view of AI that's important to call out, and that is, I don't fear AI. I fear humans birthing AI, them putting their morals into it when they don't understand their own morals. Even if we don't put morals in, they're going to get there. You know, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Right.
So that's really what concerns me. And AI is just an insanely powerful tool. I like to think of it as a god. It may be the god of intelligence, but not, for instance, the god of wisdom or love or war or whatever. I'm very concerned that we, as self-believing gods, believe we can birth a god and control it. I remain entirely unconvinced.
Right. And like, I am more, I would say, optimistic of our ability to do that. I just feel that under our current paradigm of, socioeconomics, that the drive to go fast overrides the drive to do it correctly.
Correct. Absolutely. Daniel Schmachtenberger says it's like we're running faster and faster, increasingly blind through the forest. If we continue to do this, we are going to hit a tree. It doesn't mean we die, but we're going to get hit.
Yeah. And I mean, do you see any ray of hope within the behavior of humans that we could do this correctly?
Oh, absolutely. We definitely all have the power. I'm afraid that, to me, it seems like as we birth societies, what we were trying to do was take care of our basic needs: food, water, shelter, clothing. And after we did that, we didn't come up with a new goal. And so we're sort of lost just playing around in our own, toy chest. And it doesn't match the world that it exists on in any way whatsoever. I mean, nothing about humans, well, not nothing, very, very little about humans flows with nature. Because we're capable of making it do what we want it to, why would we just let it do what it does? But that's how the entire system was created for billions of years. It isn't something we can change in 50 years and expect to get away with it, or 100 years, or 1,000 years. So I think we're ignoring a lot of the cycles that are out there, like you are saying, because we can advance, because there's more we could do. But look what I can do. One of my favorite songs is, I can't remember. I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've heard it, but yeah.
Flowbots, handlebars, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a great
really,
overall
really
album.
deep. Oh, wow. Haven't heard the whole thing. I'll listen to more.
Yeah, no, they're definitely they definitely have a lot of the right, ideas. So I definitely recommend that. But yeah, and that song is powerful and deep because it hits on a lot of those themes. It's like that. And I don't blame like the internet culture kind of, Instagram, TikTok, these kind of things for turning people into these things. I think it just like draws a line under it and kind of magnifies it a little bit, but we have always wanted to be that way, I think, is more fair.
This is what scares me, right? So what I see for the inventions that man has made, they externalize a ton of costs.
Mm-hmm.
And cars are amazing, but they're polluting the atmosphere. And whether or not you think they're causing global warming, they're definitely putting crap in the air that doesn't belong there and the earth is not accustomed to. And we're doing that in just mass quantities everywhere we go. I honestly think that we think we're gods.
Mm-hmm. Now, to linger on that just for a moment, like the nature of like the way that the planet has developed has been exactly that. Like there was no oxygen basically on the planet, and then plants started to show up, and then those plants produced enough oxygen that they killed off a bunch of things that couldn't survive under that level of oxygen. In that context, is it possible that we are just fulfilling the same cycle, as it could be put, that other things have done before us, and that, something will happen after climate change reaches its peak, and then a new world will be born?
Yeah, so the question is less about the environment and the earth because they will exist without us. But what allows us to exist here? And if you examine it carefully, it's everything. Absolutely everything is what allows us to exist here. The butterfly's wings causing a hurricane. Without everything happening as it has, we would not exist. That includes the bad stuff, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But shoot, I've lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Is it possible that, like, we're putting a bunch of crap into the atmosphere, but...
Gotcha. So do I have hope for AI? Do I think there's a possibility we escape? I think it's the most powerful tool we've ever implemented, and there are some incredibly good people out there that will do incredible things with it. But it is much easier to break than create. So one evil person can offset the work of 100 good people. It's just more difficult. That is really what scares me. It takes one, Unabomber or Bin Laden or whatever to take that hammer that's AI and smack the world over the head with it. I think you have an appreciation for, if every computer system was shut down, just how catastrophic that would be.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. To draw on your metaphor of Bin Laden, depending on how far people want to get into it, Bin Laden is a product of something that America, the United States, did, and what happened because of Bin Laden. Not to take any agency or responsibility from him, but the response to what he did is also came from the United States. So is it possible that our reaction to AI could exacerbate a bad situation, in your opinion?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't even imagine all the bad things that could happen, right? No one can, because it's going to take a creative mind to come up with that bad thing. People like to talk about bio and chemical weapons and other things like that. But, Bin Laden really messed up the U.S. for decades with apparently $1 million and some box cutters.
Right.
It's not, that's leverage with small technology. Now, in reality, he used planes, not box cutters. That wasn't the important part.
Sure.
Right? But that technology had been used mostly for good forever. But it only took one time to bring both towers down. Mm-hmm. And that's my real concern, is there are always going to be actors that are outside of the norm. And if you give them a big enough hammer, they will kill everyone.
Mm-hmm. But now, that being the case of always being bad actors, not to go as far as, like, guns don't kill people, people kill people, because I am generally for, I don't think we need guns in the way that people think we need guns, but that's an entirely other subject.
But it does have analogy here. Go on.
But we have invented a lot of technology. Arguably the first technology, fire, can be used to burn down the world, and has been by bad actors, and yet the world persists. So
no, it's not possible for one person to burn down the world. It's not even possible for 1 million people or 1 billion people to burn down the world. Not with just carrying fire by themselves. It takes a tool, a lever, to increase the size of that fire. I mean, we can.
Yeah, I'll give
Go
you
ahead.
the idea, like the what you call it, the exponentially increasing effect of having tools. But like the wildfires in California, the wildfires that just happened up in like Canada, Alberta, that kind of area, like it was our intervention, arguably. Like you would have to do a whole bunch of science to see how it would have played
I'm not
out
holding you to these
Okay.
non-facts. Go for it, man.
But like that, arguably that could have continued to burn, and like all of Canada would have been gone, or the California wildfires could have killed everything to the Rockies. So like and I believe one of the California years happened because of like something humans did in an irresponsible way under climate change.
Absolutely. Of course, in California here, there's huge settlements with PG&E about them starting fires. And I think they did some stuff with SoCal as well. But these things may have been created, the fires may have been created by man in these particular cases. But if man had not created the fires, sooner or later there would be fires.
Right.
You can't have a bunch of fuel and capture every lightning bolt or whatever. So some of it is just us living in harmony with nature, and people saying, yes, I know living on the coast of the Gulf is going to crush my house, and I don't expect everybody else to pick up the bill. I'm going to do it myself. Well, no, these are unnatural things we couldn't know. Okay, after 150 years, we know. Go ahead.
No, we do know. But to extend the fire analogy a little bit farther, the reaction, though bad actors engaged in bad behavior with this tool, whether intentionally or otherwise, depending on which event we're talking about, then the response from the majority of people was in some way to, fight the fire, to solve the problem. There are very few pro-fire people other than PG&E in a lot of cases. There are very few pro-fire people.
Right. But nature itself is pro-fire. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's not fire's the only thing, but fire is one of the things we have to have. And we know that. I'm not, pretending to have some great knowledge or something, but one of the aspects of forestry is to burn it down so that you don't have too much, of course. And sometimes those things get away, and such is life. I don't think we're looking carefully at what we are taking away from. So as an example, we could build huge solar farms in the Sahara. No sweat, right? There's no life, there's nothing. Yeah, but that was heating the sand, and now it's not. What does that mean? I have no idea. I don't think anybody on Earth can know all of the byproducts and side effects that are going to come from some massive project like that until they just crop up. And I don't know if that's, earthquakes start in the Sahara, and I'm just making up ridiculous stuff, but we're all about move fast and break things. And I'm afraid we've become really good at both.
But to take that under consideration, the idea of having a solar farm in the Sahara and you can't know all the things, that's something that AI and machine learning is extraordinarily good at, is running numerous models that would take a human hours, days, weeks, months to run. They can run multiple
Absolutely.
at the same time. And this is why, one of the reasons anyway, why I'm such a huge proponent of AI is because of that ability. Because you, like you said earlier, we externalize all these additional costs. We could externalize those costs prior to deployment, and therefore choose options that could minimize that. Though there's always going to be someone who says, "Well, it's going to cost more if we do it that way." But again, like, how do we? It's the how do we cater society to the village idiot and yet all have a good society? Like, because that's what
You can't.
right.
It's you're asking for two hypotheticals at the very end of the spectrum. Of course not, right? It's like saying if only the people on the right were just elected and we could get rid of the people on the left, everything would be awesome. We all know that's bullshit. And the same is true vice versa. It takes a little bit of each. For instance, the right knows a hell of a lot more about guns than the left. Every time I have an argument with a person on the left, I feel like I got to start from scratch. And then we can start talking about it. And I don't even really believe in gun rights that much. I don't care. But if you're not educated about the subject, then we got to start there. As usual, I've lost my train of thought. I'm really bad at this. Don't get old. Or
Well, first of all, I would recommend, yes, there are some issues with people on the left and lack of knowledge regarding gun rights. And then if you continue to go to the left, you eventually run into like the SRA and the John Brown Gun Club and people like that, and you get your guns back and that trope. But I mean, it's part of I would posit that it is part of this self-reinforcing loop that has come along. I don't blame social media for anything, but it has come along with how social media has developed. Like in debate culture is one aspect of that, and these other things is you if you say something online, you have to be an expert at it, or like there is no room allowed for people to have partial knowledge or just maybe an idea. And but at the same time, Dunning-Kruger is high, right? Like people have a little bit of knowledge and they think they know everything.
you got it. You got it. I mean, Einstein didn't follow any path to figure out relativity. That was his own thought experiment. It wasn't follow the road and then pave a few more feet of it. It was run off into the ditch and go in some completely different direction.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me, that's Changebox. For people who don't know, it didn't start out this way, but it essentially means to change the box. The box is the set of assumptions that we have about life that we don't even think about. People say someone's thinking outside the box when they aren't thinking within the existing rules. And my question is, well, if it's such a great idea, just change the box and now it's inside the box again. But that's a good thing.
Mm.
I don't understand why ideas have to be scary and exciting. Anyways, I think you hit on something when we had a short talk about conspiracy theories. And I said, yeah, I like to think of them as non-spiracy theories, or I think an awful lot of them are. And what I mean by that is everybody is slightly involved in creating a terrible ending. Each person's slightly bad choice compiles up to being, oh, well, we just throw our pollution in the ocean. There was no one specific person who said, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a bunch of money by throwing crap in the ocean. Almost nobody's that gross. But they can justify giving it to another company that, well, I don't know what happens to it. And I can justify, well, it's 7 different kinds of plastic, so I can't recycle it. And everybody can justify just a little bit of doing the wrong thing. I think that's really where we are. And the problems that we're presented with at the moment are all of our doings, including mine, hell, especially mine, and backing away from that requires one thing that nobody's going to want to do, and that is the golden rule. We just have to treat each other a little bit better. And I think if we did that, I would have a lot less concern about AI and where it goes, because our guiding principle would be don't be shitty to other people. And I had a conversation with ChatGPT about this, and thank God it agrees that the golden rule is a good thing. It said the golden rule can fail, and I said, can it? Or is it the people that fail? And it said, you're right, it's the people who fail. So, yay.
Yeah, what you're talking about, like there with all of us doing just that little bit of bad. That again, I have a bunch of issues with the Moloch model, but that is definitely what people talk about. You know, we have these incredibly complex systems that we have set up that have evolved over time and become more and more complex and interrelated and everything else. And it's hard to stop. It's hard to back away. It's hard to make a change without, under the current environment, creating.
Without Moloch biting you back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the fear a lot of people feel. I feel that. I had a wild experience at my daughter's high school graduation. They said the Pledge of Allegiance. I stood for that. And then they started to play the Star Spangled Banner, but they played the last verse first.
Okay.
Like it was some kind of intro. And that is not how the song goes. So I sat down. And when they continued with the song, I'm not standing back up. You guys fucked up the song, not me. Who's the patriot here? And I immediately felt sort of scared for my life because there were so many other parents around and I heard some grumbling and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, we may as well be Nazis. I'm scared to not do it. How is that different than this?
Right.
It just isn't.
Right. Like the amount of social pressure that comes from a variety of these social norms that we've enacted is higher than people, I think, even expect.
Absolutely. I filter a lot of what comes out of me, and people say I have no filter. So I can only imagine what they're doing to themselves. Self-censorship to sort of virtue signal, I guess.
In my chat, Conscious Canuck, social media has allowed all the uneducated and unenlightened people to find each other and amplify their voices to the point where end-stage capitalists can herd them into their corner with reinforcement of their abysmal ideas. And this is like, there was a time, allegedly, like within, the mythology, that we bought products for quality, and we were sold products for quality and that kind of thing. And now we are selling, like, those who drive the particular advertisement fueled algorithms of social media are selling bad ideas, and people are participating in that in the same way they participated in other aspects of the economy. And like, I mean, that it sounds like a huge goddamn issue, right?
Absolutely. Can you restart the question? Because there was one part of it that I wanted to comment to. I thought was really great.
Yeah, social media has allowed all the uneducated and unenlightened people to find each other.
There we go. Uneducated and unenlightened. I wouldn't say they're uneducated or unenlightened. I would say they're educated and enlightened by each other, which is even worse.
Yeah, like uneducated and unenlightened would be from a particular standpoint. They have an education and they have an enlightenment. It's just not the one.
It's been sold to them, right? They bought it rather than being skeptical. Something Jimmy Dore says that I love. You don't trust science. What the fuck is that? That is exactly what science isn't. Science is being skeptical, and then you try to prove it again and again. How many times have we tried to prove Einstein wrong? Literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And they all worked out. But we proved it again and again, and then we become more sure of it.
I don't know. There are definitely some concerns as to, like, how do you mediate that I always come back to, like, if you are mediating that, then then you're ultimately trying to put a band-aid on a bone that is broken. Like, you can't mediate how people behave on social media beyond some
Right.
broad extents, because people are adaptable and will just invent new words and new euphemisms and new ways of saying things to continue the same ideas of thought. You have to go all the way back to redoing society in a way that it has a more positive outcome. And I'm not entirely certain how you would do one of those either.
So, what principles have we lost sight of that would?
Did we in fact lose sight of any principles, or
I don't
are
know.
the lack of principles that we had being magnified by technology?
Could be. I mean, we certainly have principles in the United States, right? We all agreed to free speech, et cetera. Or so we say. I guess if you're born here, it's not like you had any choice.
Mm.
But those are the principles. That's our, or it's supposed to be, because we're really divided right now. Those are supposed to be our shared principles, which we all agree to, whether we agree on it or not. When you and I meet, yeah, the Constitution means something because we're two American citizens.
And
It does. Go ahead.
like, you and I, as an example, is like we are meeting under a variety of presuppositions. Like, me from watching my show. I know you from you in my chat and watching your show, and there's like social norms of behavior. We're both of a particular age. I already know that we don't agree on a few different things, and I'm sure that we don't agree more, but we're not having a conversation in which slurs are being thrown around. Two adults can have a conversation that way. But it is surprising how many of these presuppositions people are not aware of when they engage in this type of conversation.
Indeed, indeed. I find the debate panels to be ridiculous because the one thing they won't do is talk about the definition of some of the words in the prompt.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have shared definition, then this is just a stupid shouting match where you yell past each other and nothing happens.
Yeah.
I guess if that makes you money, but that is exactly the problem. Like, do you know Wick TV?
I do.
Okay.
I am aware.
So Wick used to be Death of Certainty, and I loved that. I would go there and say, anytime somebody said they knew what was going on, no. You can't know. You think you know, but you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became whatever it is now. I guess lowest common denominator. Feels like Jerry Springer or something.
Well, like my impression, and like I am not going to talk shit as much. My opinions are known to the people who need to know them, and otherwise I don't care. It is, I feel, when you stake a position as like absolutist, that you immediately begin to run into problems, and that's a self-reinforcing loop. And again, like you said and I said, the commoditization of that type of behavior, right? Like, you and I are having a nice civil conversation between two people, and I don't have a lot of viewers. I appreciate everyone. Some people are going to watch the VOD, and I'm not saying, oh, woe was me or any of that crap. I'm just pointing out that this type of engagement, it doesn't get you a lot of viewers. However, if we were shouting and throwing slurs and making fun of each other's parentage, then eventually we could get
Here they
more.
come.
Yeah, and like, there's money there, but like I tell my friend Paradise, it's like, at what cost of your soul is that kind of thing? Not in a religious sense, but just like who you are.
Love that you said that. I
Yeah.
sell my soul daily when I work because I don't tell my boss things that he needs to hear, right? I do tell him things he wants to hear, which may or not be true. I have to lie to my employees about stuff or cover up part of the truth. And indeed, that's why I make really good money. And I'll bet a CEO sells their soul day in every interaction. So no wonder they make so much money. They're a soulless husk of a person. They're going to need something to fill that space.
Mm-hmm. No,
And these,
go ahead.
they're difficult choices. I don't want to blame, anybody in particular for making the difficult choices they had to. Certainly in CEOs' cases, that's the whole idea, is we pass you the worst decisions that have to be made. Ugh. So maybe both choices are bad, and you're not going to sleep well no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm. It is very easy on the left to, to like the CEOs and the capitalists and them are bad. And I'm the first to admit they are my ideological opponent and enemy and all that good stuff. But by the same token, they are a product of their material conditions. They are a product of the environment that they function under.
Absolutely.
And you need to appreciate how you would act, not coming from where you are and then being a rich CEO, but coming from where they are and being a rich CEO. These are two different things. And I really want people to appreciate more, because I think there's a level of understanding there, especially if you want to act in ideological opposition to these people, to understand why they believe what they believe, not just like it's
100%.
bad.
Oh my God, you're dead on. So a little political background for me. I have been a lifelong Democrat who doesn't vote, meaning I support the policies, but I don't support the candidates. I just didn't see the point in voting. Bernie Sanders came along and I said, this is a guy I can actually support and some of the ideas and things. So I actually got a little bit involved. His campaign was a mess, so I kind of laid off from that, but I still, was planning on voting for him. And then I worked the election because I wanted to see how things went.
Mm-hmm.
And I was rather disgusted by how the election went because it was a primary. And saw so many things that I was having a hard time convincing myself to vote again for the general election. And in the end, decided to vote for everything except president, because I couldn't deal with either one of them. Both Hillary and Trump just turned my stomach. But I voted for everything else, or at least everything else I knew something about. And being raised as a Democrat and always having those ideals and that sort of, I'll call it propaganda, pounded into me, I really believed everything I believed.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point it occurred to me that half the population can't be insane. They voted for Donald Trump, yes, and that seems kind of crazy to me, all right. 1 in 2 people is not a screaming nut job I've walked through the grocery stores and seen, right? They're just average people. And I said, something doesn't feel right. So let me just take on their perspective. Let me become a Trump tard for a little bit and see what it means. And I was there probably 2 or 3 weeks listening only to right-wing radio, only watching Fox, only doing what I envisioned that kind of person would do. 2 weeks in, I said, oh my God, their worldview is just as complete as mine. What a fucking mess. They are just as right to believe they're right as I am, which is none. Neither of us, right? That's insane. And so now I find myself in the middle and I don't have any clue what to do, because the parties benefit from that behavior we were talking about in debate panels. The more fighting, the better. So the Democrats need the Republicans to beat up, and the Republicans need the Democrats to beat up. If the Republicans gain control of, both houses and the presidency, and they've already got the Supreme Court, they have no excuse for failures. They cannot blame anyone else. Let's get some Democrats elected so we can throw them under the bus. A lot of that shit goes on.
Yeah.
I just read somewhere that people were hiring, or at least they believe that people were hiring people with degrees so that they could blame the degree, right? I'm going to hire somebody with a degree. I'm going to let them make the choice. They got the education. I couldn't help it if they failed. They got a PhD.
Right.
Yeah, that's just a cop-out, guys.
And like because of that conversation on Friday with Arun, like I see things very similarly to the way that you do in their current state. I'm just
We come
There-
to different conclusions.
Well,
I totally get it.
yeah, like what to do, because the idea that, like, okay, you can accept that there's nothing that can be done and we should just abandon all hope and just enjoy the time that we have here, or you can try to do something. And again, I don't.
So let me be clear about
Please.
what I think we need to do. And it's, like I said, super simple. Nobody wants to do it. Apply the golden rule all the damn time. Change your personal life so your interactions with others are less harmful, hurtful, or just better. Increase everybody's health, including your own, rather than co-opting your morals, selling your soul, whatever it is, to get the things that you feel you need.
Mhm.
And so here's the thing. You can't force anyone to do that. You can't force people to be nice. Their intent to come in good faith or be good people has to come from in them. So there's nothing we can do to force this to happen. It takes everybody letting go and doing it.
Right.
That makes sense?
No, it completely does. One of the things that I have is like, okay, so around Bernie Sanders, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, I voted for Bernie in the primaries, even when it didn't matter anymore. Because I'm in New York and
I'm in California. It made no difference here. I did it anyways.
Yeah, the way that, not to sidetrack too much, but the way that our primary system is set up is flawed on so many levels, and that is only one of them. But the idea behind a guy like Bernie Sanders, which not the man himself, but the behavior of the people who thought he should be president, in the same way, reminded me a lot of the people who thought Ron Paul should be president, and other people who endorse a candidate or a person to be candidate who lacks a mathematical possibility of winning. And then it ends up always being, if only people would vote for my candidate, then he would win, And it's like, that maybe
seems obvious.
Yes, it seems obvious, but like, are people going to vote for your candidate? Not like you could have the best ideas in the world, but are they actually going to vote for him? And the way that our system is set up, and like, people can bitch about Citizens United, but then not understand that directly affects the fact that you're only going to get a choice, a probability of either a Republican and a Democrat, and they are going to be trending towards the center right. Like, that is just how the system is set up. And to behave otherwise, it seems like wishful thinking to me. Like, along the lines of, if everyone would just be a little bit nicer to each other, then we could have a better everything, which I agree with. But it feels like wishful thinking. I incorporate it in myself. I never try to give anyone else a hard time and make anyone's life more difficult.
No.
You know what I mean?
So you're not wrong. It is kind of hopeful thinking. The problem with it is it requires a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a good deal of energy and work. So it's not the instant fix that we're used to. There's no golden rule V2.0 that works better, faster, easier, cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're unwilling to do it.
But
because it's just easier.
How do you do otherwise? Like, what is, again, to draw it back to the Moloch in the systems, it's like, if I intake too much news and too much knowledge of the way that the world actually exists and these kind of things, then my mental health suffers. These are, it's one thing after another. So, like, how do we approach fixing the future while not being, like, cognizant of the things that are going on? And
You can't fix the future because it hasn't happened yet. You can only fix the present because that's where you can act. You can't fix the past and you can't fix the future.
but
And that's why the golden rule applies, because it's something you can apply to the present. Sorry.
no, you're. I'm like considering your idea even as I'm speaking. You're right. Like, you can't fix the future. You can influence the future, obviously, but like, because
You
these
influence through the
situations-
present.
right? And because it's so complex, there's all these different factors that you are completely unaware of interacting with each other. You can only control your behavior in the here and now. You're not wrong, and I hate that.
I know, that's the thing. Like, I look at this and I go, oh, the answer is obvious, and it's been in front of us for millennia. Oh yeah, it's really fucking hard. Pass. I'm going back to work and make some bank. It really is. It's unfortunate that it's more or less that simple. And that's what I'm saying, is we've lost our way, because we could feed, clothe, shelter everybody on the planet. There's no reason we can't, other than the stuff we just talked about, right?
Right. So
We can distribute the food. We choose not to. It's
Yeah.
not in our interest.
that's 100% the case. Like, I've gone over it there. You can go on a website and see all the boats. It's like, by no stretch of the imagination can we not get people fed. That's silly.
Right. Yeah, the shipping site, I can't remember what it's called, but I've
Yeah.
looked at it a few times too. It's great.
I usually look at it around the time, like, I have something being shipped, a board game being shipped from China, and it's like,
Funny.
now I track the boat.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like, we are looking at, in to tie that together with what we talked about earlier, the social media, which again is exacerbating this situation, is commoditized to promote the exact opposite of what you're talking about there.
100%.
What can you
100%.
actually do? Could you, by government mandate, tell social media that they have to use a better algorithm? Because Twitter itself said we could do an algorithm that would get rid of the Nazis, and it's going to take out a bunch of conservatives as well. And they never did.
Right. This cow is too big to butcher precisely.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I think about the golden rule and how it would sort of resolve the issues that we have, it's so long term, because we're talking about me acting like a better person, which goes down to my child, who I also encourage to be a better person, who goes down to their. It could take generations to undo what we've done. And again, that's why we don't want to look at it, because there's no panacea for the millennial sort of behavior that we've baked into the system. And it's not anyone's fault. It's everyone's fault, including and especially me,
Right.
for not recognizing it sooner.
Right. Now, you're talking about a panacea. Like, in theory, a general artificial intelligence mandated by if its goal was, the golden rule of make everything a little bit better all the time, it was applying algorithms to all these interactions, then theoretically you could have this better world. Would you support that kind of mandate, like force good behavior?
So just like humans can't be perfect in their intellect and their math and everything else, we make mistakes, whereas the computer can. What does it mean for AI to be perfect at that? To perfect the golden rule? Does it treat anybody with anything? Does it just turn itself off and go, yeah, no, we were good the way we were?
But,
I don't think we can know. Right. It's, again, you said this before, moving fast and breaking things. We're moving faster and faster with less concern for the downstream consequences because I'll be dead by then. Well, we won't all be, I hope.
But what would you advocate for that kind of AI? Like if it could mandate a better world? Because I find
Absolutely.
I find it
Absolutely.
so you would. Okay.
Yeah. So if a person doing something or requesting of AI something bad, and it can recognize that and not do it, then yeah, I can support that. My concern again comes with humans because I don't think we even understand our own motivations well enough to know what we're baking into the cake.
No, that's absolutely a fair assumption because I don't think enough people, and not for any I'm not bagging on any people because you have to get up in the morning and you got to go to work and you got to get the kids off to school and you got to do all those things. You don't necessarily have time for self-reflection. Again, that's self-reinforcing loop of the Moloch system. But if we were to mandate that kind of AI, wouldn't we end up with some issues of freedom, and not only freedom, but where we're weighing the values, like trolley problem, straight out the trolley problem, right?
Yeah. Right. I mean, they already have to do that with self-driving cars, right? Decide what's less impactful to hit.
Right.
But I presume that it's doing it based on kinetic energy and not the age of the target.
Well, that's one of those things is we don't call on people to do a test when they get their driver's license. Is okay, you're coming down the street and there's an old lady and a child. Which one do you hit? Right? We don't do that, but
No.
we not only need AI to do that, but we have to walk it through that decision-making process so that it makes a choice, right? So it's
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's weird because we're doing the teaching the hammer how to suffer thing.
Yes. I find this so interesting that what we've done is told AI, emulate what you see, and here's all the data. What the hell does that mean? That's what, 8 billion parents? What are you talking about? This kid is just going to be confused and spit out random silliness, much like I'm seeing out of ChatGPT, right? But we're not all getting to bake in our ideals, are we?
Yeah.
In fact, now we're at the point where we don't know if it's baking its own ideals into it because we don't even know how it works fully.
The thing with the ChatGPT about how how it hallucinates or how it can kind of go off the rails and make stuff up, which I found again is you can limit that effect the longer the conversation goes. It ties back to what you said about these debate panels and the establishing of definitions and establishing of terms, because you are taking the time to make sure before you start talking about what you want to talk about, what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yep,
And
100%.
And again, that as AI serves as a reflection, a mirror for humanity, there is a lot to be said for doing that rather than just going with what you assume the presuppositions of another person or group of people is, to establish that in some way so that you can then move forward together. Because the reason that person might be getting upset at whatever you have to say is because they think you're talking about something completely different.
Right, which is why any good conversationalist repeat back what the other person said to make sure that it was understood and interpreted properly. Yeah, these are critical things. I don't think we're giving nearly enough thought to them. I'm not even sure what the goal of AI is. It's just this amorphous, make things easier, better, faster, stronger, cheaper. What?
Mhm.
It doesn't seem wise to, again, I try to pretend like this is a child coming into the world. If we really got to AGI, this is our new godchild.
Right.
Do I want my daughter to be a godchild? Fuck no, she would have killed me 50 times over already. I know I would have when I was a kid, right? Because you just dispose of things you don't want. I'm not really sure that we are capable enough parents in a social way to raise a child. It takes a village, but it sure as shit doesn't take the internet to raise a child.
No, that's a terrible idea. We're coming up on the end of the hour. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on? You feel that we didn't touch on?
Not at all. I think I got across, the points that I have. I'm not against AI. In fact, I don't think there's any way to stop it, and we're going to move ahead with it at breakneck speed. But I think we all need to take a little break in our own heads and just sort of relax.
Yeah. Like I
See where things go.
think that people's disagreements on a variety of subjects are much smaller and more nuanced than the internet would allow you to believe. And I think the opportunity to just actually talk to another human being and behave like an adult, like behave like a good person, behave under the golden rule, talk to me as if you would want to be talked to by me, kind of thing, right?
I came here in good faith to learn what you thought, and that was it. If you want to learn what I thought, cool, but people really need to show up in good faith to try and come to an agreement, or at least an understanding of each other, even if you don't agree. Agree to disagree means right now you're wrong. That's not how that works.
Right.
It means it's okay for us to not disagree or to not agree on something. I really appreciate this time. I love the conversation. You're really good.
Yeah. Thank you. Like, this is one of my most enjoyable parts of Twitch, is to just talk with another person, share ideas. And again, like, you're in California, I'm in New York. We would never have met each other except for the magic of Twitch. And so, again, if Twitch could just get its shit together, and I think that the world would be a better place also.
Well, I worked for Amazon for a bit, so don't hold your breath. That was wild. We can talk about that sometime too. I worked there for 3 months before I said, "Oh God, no! I value my sanity way too much for this."
I will definitely look for another opportunity to have a conversation. This was great on my end as well. So
fantastic.
You take care, and I will see you in the funny pages.
Alrighty, take care, man.
All right, chat. I hope you enjoyed that conversation, at least as much as I did. I'm going to take a quick break. We are, again, going long today, so don't wander off. I'm going to give you some cats and some art, and then we'll be back. We have a bunch of news to get to. We have a bunch of video to get to, a bunch of shit to get caught up on. And again, we're going late today. So, in the meantime, let's kick off the... What up, Red Hobbit? What up, Lenny? Let me just scroll back up. Who else I see? What up, Beetle Meatbag? What up, Conscious Canuck? What up, Boy Meets Mini? Yeah. Welcome. Always nice to see you. All right. I will be right back.
Earlier you told Dr. Bryce something about Globus.
The Globus never sleeps.
No one was in here. Everyone was asleep.
The Globus never sleeps.
We will show them that it is feasible, that the budget is nothing more or less than a plan for spending our money A plan which can and must be adapted to meet our needs.
Earlier you told Dr. Bryce something about Globus.
The Globus never sleeps.
The time has come for mankind to take longer strides. We must move further down the line.
Earlier you told Dr. Bryce something about Globus.
The Globus never sleeps.
No one was in here. Everyone was asleep.
The Globus never sleeps.
Globus is embarking on a new chapter.
The Globus never sleeps.
Earlier you told Dr. Bryce something about Globus.
The Globus never sleeps.
Today, the Globus Group supplies 90 countries and protects everyone, from oil riggers to frontline medics. That's more than a quarter of a century dedicated to looking after people's safety.
The Globus never sleeps.
Earlier you told Dr. Bryce something about Globus.
The Globus never sleeps.
Then we can achieve our goal by going before the Council and making our demands explicit.
The Globus never sleeps.
Earlier you told Dr. Bryce something about Globus.
The Globus never sleeps.
Globus is embarking on a new chapter.
The Globus never sleeps.
Earlier you told Dr. Bryce something about Globus.
The Globus never sleeps.
And we are back. All right, folks. All right, we got about a minute 15. I thought about that change box, but this is my goal. The 25 subs is my goal because the 25 subs amounts to over $50, and $50 is what you need for the payout. And that's it. Like, if people want to go above and beyond that, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the hell out of it. It allows me more opportunities to incorporate different things into the stream and stuff like that. But that's the goal. And I made it. You made it. Y'all did it. And that's it. Like, I'm not out here to squeeze anybody. I'm not out here to keep anyone apart from the knowledge. This is why I only run the pre-roll ad, because you have to do something like that, and then after that, it's just content. You know what I mean? There's a psychology to the unfilled bar that one could exploit. That you're not wrong. You're not wrong. There is actually a tremendous difference. This is Twitch psychology 101 right here. This sub bar, like just having your sub bar up there is almost like meaningless. You need to instigate chat into donating, into subbing, into doing the thing, and then they do the thing, right? Like there's a whole psychology around that. I watch it happen. It's one of the things I look for when I'm in people's streams. And again, a lot of people do this as a business. So I'm not saying that anyone is doing anything wrong. I'm just saying that it's how the game works, right? For me, this number, 25, that's what I need. The fact that it's 28, 29 now, 29, I think, super cool, extra cool, doubly cool, you know? Just, I need that 20. I don't even need that 25. I want that 25 because then the money isn't sitting in Jeff's account waiting to pay me out like a Bezos check. You know, let's get that. You paid that money to the streamer. Let's get it to the streamer, and then don't. There is a variety of things I can tell you about related to that I cannot tell you about because of the nature of the stream on which I would be telling you, because there are rules here and people get clapped. So, anyways, let us, we're going to finish up the last minute and 15 from the MetaHuman Animator video. Then we'll watch another video, and then we'll run some articles, and then we'll get back to video, and we'll kind of go back and forth until we get through everything. But it's content. You get some content. And that's what y'all like. Y'all like content. That's why you're here.
Take 13.
I see through your darkness now. I see through your lies. I will show them how to see as I do. I will not appease your gods. I will destroy them.
Good? You like it?
So yeah, that's pretty goddamn cool. And again, think about these things in tandem, right? Like it is not just that you are going to get something like Unreal Engine. Is eventually you're going to get you got this metahuman thing, and then you attach it to a AI plugin for generating movies, and now, like we talked about the motion capture, it looks like that we are getting further and further away from having any suit requirements for motion capture. Now you are really on the level of being able to create this stuff at home by yourself. The flip side of that is like what is going on with the writer's strike, right? Like when you make these things cheaper to create or requiring less people to participate in them, then less people will be participating in them. Right? And this is the dual-edged sword of technology, and what you have to take into consideration is, like, would you want to freeze technology where it is today? Would you want to turn it back some amount? If you did that, what would happen? What are the ramifications of that type of scenario? Like, it's not, none of these things, there's no simple answers. These are complex problems. We don't do simple answers. We just try to analyze enough of the data as we can and make the best possible choice for the best possible outcome. And again, this is why I believe so much in AI as a tool, not only because of, like, I don't see a way to prevent it from happening, but also I believe that there are tremendous benefits for which it can be used. And then the question is, whose hand is at the lever, and how do we make it people with the best intentions? Let's do a couple of videos from... Oh, no. Let's do this first. We're going to talk shit about Ben Shapiro, but it's AI related, so it's one of the opportunities I get to talk about Ben Shapiro in the way that I... Stop, Ben. Because I don't know if Ben Shapiro is actively capitalizing off people's bad behavior, or if he really believes this kind of stuff. Oh no, like, this should be funny. He's such a great actor.
Hello, I'm Benjamin Aaron Shapiro, and it gives me the unbelievable pleasure to welcome you to the first ever AI painting series. Today, we'll be doing some fantastic AI-generated artwork inspired by the deep recesses of my brain. Guys, do I have to talk like this? Seriously, like the whole video?
How deep are the recesses of your brain, Ben? Again, I meme, I joke. I believe that Ben is a relatively intelligent fella, and that he could just not be a douchebag about it.
Behold the power of technology. Okay, so
let's get started.
Okay, that I might need to clip that for an alert. I might need to equip that for an alert.
Whole video. Behold the power of technology. Okay, so
I do like that.
Let's enter some prompts and see how good this AI thing really is. I've been told it's going to replace all of us. Don Lemon, sadly departed Don Lemon, but can we make him happy again? So let's do Don Lemon wearing a lemon costume, picking lemons. Sounds like a happy Don Lemon. So let's see how that ends up. Oh goodness. Wow, he does look happy, particularly in that third picture. And he starts off and he's kind of happy, but he's against the green screen. And then he's like he's out having a good time with the lemons. He missed his calling. This should have been his life.
You have to make these decisions.
Okay, real quick. All right, we're a minute in, and no notes. I like, unless you know who Ben Shapiro is, he is nothing bad has happened yet.
Because this is your world.
He should have been like the Willy Wonka of the orchard. That would have been good. Good job, AI. Good job. Okay, we're gonna do Justin Trudeau being pushed on a swing by Fidel Castro, his father.
We were doing so well, buddy. Like, we were doing so well, and then you had to ruin it.
I like what's happening right now, AI. One of them, it looks like it's actually Fidel on the swing. That third one is so good. I love that. And he's so happy, Justin Trudeau. It's the happiest he's ever been.
Art is one of those things that should make you
Okay,
happy.
hold up,
If it
hold up,
makes you
hold up,
happy,
hold
then
up.
It's good.
Hillary Clinton, I love that. And he's so happy.
There's something happening right here, and it happens in whatever shot this picture is used in. It's like a sparkling. I don't know if you can see it at home, but like there's like a sparkling effect that's happening right there. Some kind of glitching.
I like what's happening right now, AI. One of them, it looks like it's actually Fidel on the swing. That third one is so good. I
There
love
it is.
that.
Did you see
And
it?
he's so happy, Justin Trudeau.
And it's there.
The happiest he's ever been.
Art is one of those things that should make you happy.
I just wonder if they
Makes you
deleted
happy,
something.
then it's good.
Hillary Clinton massaging Jeffrey Epstein's neck.
Dude.
Wow. So there are actual pictures of Hillary Clinton with Jeffrey Epstein, but it's against the AI prompts to develop an actual picture of Hillary Clinton with Jeffrey Epstein. That's amazing. Forget Jeffrey Epstein then.
Yeah, no,
Hillary
okay.
Clinton
Thank
massaging
you.
Bill Clinton's
Thank you.
neck as
That's
he
what it
screams.
is.
It's getting better. It's getting better. Oh, that's so good. Wow, that's so good. Wow, good job, AI. This is what their marriage is actually like. Who are the other big celebs? We did, Kamala Harris laughing as she rides an electric school bus across a Venn diagram. She's like living her dream right now. I'm not sure I've ever seen Kamala Harris happier than she is right here. That is a lady who loves electric school buses, man. She loves them. She's like, woo! Actually, she's more like, that's kind of, yeah. She loves those buses. Wow. Grumpy Pete Buttigieg.
Like when it was in the beginning, the Don Lemon thing was like it had that edge of innocence, which, like, you know, we're just having fun, right? Like even this picture of Kamala Harris on an electric school bus, the prompt, everything, it's just a little bit of fun, and that's okay. But like then he makes it weird, and it's like, why?
As a train engineer. That's very good.
That really makes a lot of hard work worthwhile.
Oh my gosh, they put the gay flag on him? That's amazing, wow.
He's like, I like trains and I'm gay.
That was his entire pitch, actually. I like trains and I'm gay was his pitch. Yeah, this is good. Well done, AI. Excellent. Jay Powell setting money on fire. There you go. Jerome Powell setting money on fire. Well, here's the thing, folks. Jerome Powell may be setting your money on fire, which is a reason why you should diversify into precious metals. Greta Thunberg as an old woman wearing a child's outfit, screaming at an oil derrick. This is quite good. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, too real, AI. Wow, too real. That's a creepy movie right there. Anthony Fauci as Dr. Frankenstein, reanimating the corpse of Joe Biden.
Fauci's Frankenstein.
Yeah, I don't know why they reversed it. AI is getting it wrong. Interesting, because AI doesn't understand the difference between Dr. Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. I assume that the internet is stupid, and so the internet doesn't understand the difference between Dr. Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster.
People are literally watching you on the internet, you fucking douchebag. Like, there's no commentary to give. We all are looking at why he's a failed theater kid, right? Like, it's kind of obvious.
That's creepy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no one likes that. That's terrible. I mean, either of those people or the pictures. Nancy Pelosi as the clown from It.
As compared to other, like, boys, I would say yes. As compared to, like, adult males.
Holding a red balloon. All right. I mean, again, AI making her sufficiently terrifying. That only slightly less terrifying than she is in actual life, Nancy Pelosi, actually. Like, in this picture, she's just...
And that's actually my question, Lenny. Like, because if he doesn't actually believe these things, there are people whose names you know. There are people whose names you know, like people who are in the debate, like, what do they call him? Nebraska Steve, Nebraska Steven, and I would say Steven Crowder. What up, Big Lou? Steven Crowder. I think Steven Crowder is a piece of shit, and he behaves in a piece of shit way, but I don't think he necessarily believes the things that he's saying. I think he's acting a part. And I wonder how many of these people are acting a part because there are anecdotal incidences of when confronted by people who do have, firmly held beliefs within this space, outside of the space, basically when the cameras aren't running, and you talk to one of these people and you give them the guns and they're like, whoa, bro, like the cameras are not, like there's no, it's like they're doing it to make money and they're acting a part to make money, which I find infinitely worse than the people who actually believe this stuff for reasons that we kind of went over in that conversation with Changebox.
It's like a clown who's going to threaten children from the sewers. In real life, she just wants to abort like all the babies, so there's that. It's a look. Okay, Dylan Mulvaney storming the beaches of Normandy.
They're always the same jokes. Oh, we're going with Dylan Mulvaney. This should be hilarious, I'm sure.
Yes.
Holding a Bud Light can is going to be really good. So much bravery. Truly, like the Battle of Normandy, that bravery. Unbelievable.
Very.
I mean, you set up the prompt, and they look pretty good in them pictures, so that's on you, dude.
Very strong.
Sponsored by Bud Light. Good stuff. Lizzo shaking Jabba the Hutt's hand in a formal business agreement.
Yeah, no, this is a good look. Right? I mean, other than all the the absurd nature of what's going on. Like you set this up, and yeah, it looks good, dude. Okay, we're gonna fight. Put me in a ring with Ben Shapiro. I will use Ben like a fleshlight. Like, dude.
Civilizo. Wow, they've actually got Lizzo bigger than Jabba. Wow.
No painting would be complete without an almighty mountain.
Wow. Wow, AI. Not kind AI. I shall be your man.
Assuming again that these are sincerely held beliefs, you think cruelty is humor? Oh no, anyone can take a swipe at him after, because there won't be, he won't be able to do anything other than lie there and whimper.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. Bottom left is amazing. Wow. She just signed up Jabba as a fat influencer. That's amazing. The top right is super good. These are pretty good. Pete Davidson dating Helen of Troy. That doesn't look like Pete Davidson.
Oh, look at that son of a gun. Isn't it pretty?
Like, maybe that's how women think Pete Davidson looks. Like, apparently, men supposedly get beer goggles. Women have, Pete Davidson goggles. Or something. I can't explain it. Because then I talk to, all the women I know, and they're like, yeah, Pete Davidson, don't understand it. So...
I'm going to need a list of names, right, so that I can verify that claim, Ben, that you talk to women beyond... all the women you know is apparently your producer that we heard talking, your wife, and your sister. And maybe your mom. I don't know if his mom is still around. So, beyond those four people, how many other women do you talk to? And
I guess it only applies to supermodels or something. But yeah, I guess that's how Pete Davidson looks to all the supermodels. Corinne Jean-Pierre.
is that a
as
different Pete
Pinocchio.
Davidson? Because that's hilarious. What up, Maddie?
How do you make Corinne Jean-Pierre's Pinocchio, but you don't do anything with their nose? Bad job, AI. It looks like she's dressed up like Uncle Sam or something. I don't know. Yeah, now she's in the circus. Barack Obama taking a selfie in the middle of the apocalypse. Well, here I am, in the middle of the apocalypse. We're in
I like this one. Like, I have opinions on Barack Obama, you know, but they are not the same as Ben's or. But I feel like these, I could work with these.
a Tansu. Only thing I did wrong. I didn't cause this apocalypse. It was you.
I think that's your best impersonation, man.
I like my mama, yeah.
I don't. I think it's terrible. I think you don't understand the way that the impersonation is supposed to work. You know, and again, I feel that Ben Shapiro suffers from lacking a person to tell him no. Right? Everyone agrees that he's a special little boy.
It took years to get it down. Let's be clear. Let me be clear. Are we done, or are there any other things we wanted to hear?
I think we're done.
1 second. Hello? Oh, it's going to be another hour, probably.
It's not funny.
And with that, I think we about have a finished painting. And
yeah, that was terrible. But now you know, and now you've seen it. So the next time it shows up in somebody's stream, you can say, I saw this. It's terrible. We should watch something else. Holy crap. Ben Shapiro, at least publicly, but you spent it with friends, right? All right, let us run some news tabs. Okay. Do. Now I'm gonna have to bring it around to the front so I can actually read it. Why would we employ people? Experts on 5 ways AI will change work. And I've said this myself, is like, if you are one of these people, you are going to have to ask why you would employ humans once automation becomes a viable option. And we're gonna skim read these. We're not gonna read every word. I will put them in the Discord if you want to really look into them later on. All I can say is that if you can find a way to incorporate any AI aspects into your job and be comfortable with the technology and use it to increase your productivity as it applies to your work, you are doing yourself a disservice, future you a disservice, by not doing that, because that is the trend. I will endorse that. I will put my name on it. That we are trending towards fewer employees, and the employees and managers, they will be using more AI, and it will be who can use the AI the best. All right. "1965, machines will be capable within 20 years of doing any work a man can do. Today, in what is increasingly referred to as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, AI is igniting similar concerns. European Parliament likely to rule use of AI across education, law enforcement, and worker management high risk. Yeah, okay. In again, media literacy, put your hats on. Geoffrey Hinton, known as the godfather of AI, recently resigned from his position at Google, citing concerns about the technology's impact on the job market. We heard from Geoffrey Hinton that he does have concerns, but that the reason that he left Google was so that he can talk about those things without a conflict of interest. Yeah, like I mean, there's a whole bunch of issues like around that, Maddie, is like you have people working 8-hour days, and we're aware of this, and there are studies, people working 8-hour days with only doing 3 hours of work over that 8 hours, you know what I mean? Oh, we're looking at the wrong screen. Jesus Christ. Boop. Fixed it. Thank you, old lobster. Yeah. Early May, striking members of Writers Guild of America promised executives AI will replace you before it replaces us. That I put that down to a definite maybe, right? AI is advancing very quickly. AI has the potential, at least, to create a situation where none of those writers get to go back to work, right? Or fewer of them will, with the expectation that they will incorporate AI into their work. And those who leave will be talented people who will have the opportunity to create new companies in which they will do new stuff, and there will be a market for entertainment that's created by humans as opposed to AI. But I will, based upon everything that I can see, when you have concern about your dollars and you still want entertainment, you will take the entertainment that is less expensive, and the AI entertainment will be less expensive. If only because the corporate interest will be able to make it less expensive in order to put competition out of work. 100%, like the Amazon model. Put your competition out of business, and then you can set your price to whatever you need it to be. Oh, la, la. And here we go. Philip Tour talking about, yeah, well, like, I mean, again, we would have to define our terms. They would, like, if the human-run business has to charge $20 per movie, per DVD, in order to, you know, get their money, which is not really how that works, then the AI company would be able to charge 15, just because, even if they only looked at it as a temporary thing, and there's business taxes and profit and loss and all sorts of fun things that you can do with money in order to make it, you know, reasonable to take a loss. I worked for a guy who told me a bunch of things and like demonstrated a bunch of things in that regard. So you make your movie cost $15, and then the business, they could, right? But it is more important to drive the opposition out of business. That is the point. It's strategy. Fuck you, George Bush. It is strategy to put your competition out of business, right? but once you've eliminated that competition, then you can increase your prices again. And again, like the profit is after expenses. You gotta either come up here, Ferris, or fuck off because I need my arm over here. The prices could go back up, exactly. Like, and again, we don't know the numbers, right? But if I look at it and the AI is capable of doing the work of 2 to 3 people, and for argument's sake, the movie requires 10 people normally, but then 3 people with the AI, there's a significant amount of savings there that I can then translate into profits as well. Movie producers will be, it's cheaper for me to use an AI script, so only, and that too. Like, it's a reciprocal effect on the market. It's going to create that. Like, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Unless you want to mandate behaviors, there's no way. How do you mandate people to hire humans to make their movie? They'll just not do that business anymore. They'll do a different business. They already have money. Right? Like, there are certain things that you can't mandate through law that are just going to happen. And this is why I harp on looking at the fundamentals, right? Like, here and now in these 5 minutes, I want the writers to get their money, right? Like, I want them to pay or get paid so that they can survive. But by the same token, that is a symptom of a much bigger issue. If we don't address the way that we move resources to people, then it really doesn't matter. Right? If we don't address the underlying condition, it doesn't matter whether or not the WGA gets their money. We're just going to put a Band-Aid on the broken bone and continue to limp along rather than really reassessing how we want the world to work. Philip Torr, the fallibility of AI tools, driven not by emotion but by data and algorithms, means that the presence of humans in the workplace remains essential. Industrial revolutions in the past have typically led to more employment, not less. Again, they are the logical fallacy is the industrial revolutions of the past. This is a mistake. I cannot stress this enough. This is a mistake. In the short term, you might see that. But then, like, before AI, tech companies fire thousands of people at a shot. This is the way that business is done in the United States right now. Stakeholder capitalism, you just fire a bunch of people and it makes the quarterlies look good. He's generally optimistic that humans can coexist productively alongside such technologies, not alone in this view. And I agree, but I think that, like, again, we're not addressing capitalism here. Automation could have a positive impact on the workplace. People predict a dark future. Until now, the use of AI in medicine has centered on MRI scans, X-rays, and the identification of tumors. Apps could track the length of time it takes a user to complete a routine task, such as finding a contact, and flag an increase in this time as a possible sign of the syndrome, dementia. Right? Like, this is exactly the kind of things I want to use AI for. Is creating better outcomes for humans, right? And all humans, right? Not just a particular subset of humans. And I don't disagree that in the beginning, many of the AI things that come out could end up benefiting, the 1% has always happened, but remember that the smartphones that they used to have were shit, and now many people have smartphones in places where they never had regular phones or had a limited number of regular phones because of the nature of the way the technology can be used and economies of scale, right? Each of these applications, valuable time, medical staff. There's a slight difference between automating goods and automating data information. I disagree. Versus entertainment creation. I disagree. Like, they are different kinds of automation, but I think that functionally it's, it's a whole lot of data, and the AI is good at data. Gives the example of arriving at a hospital, answering a set of questions, then being moved to another room, only to be asked the same set of questions. Instead, he explains answers could be logged by... This is stupid. I have been to doctors and hospital appointments for me and others, and I don't have this happen, right? Like, okay, again, he gives the example of arriving in a hospital, answering a set of questions, being moved to another room only to be asked the same set of questions. Instead, he explains, answers could be logged in via an AI-driven app, which would then pass each patient's information to the relevant staff. This is Elon Musk inventing the Hyperloop, right? There's already a solution for this, and it's just data entry. Like, the AI solution to this problem is that I don't actually speak to a person, right? Maybe I either take a tablet from the, in the waiting area, or I sit in a particular spot in the waiting area and I talk to an AI that takes my information and I have that conversation with them. That is the elimination of, a human from the process, but this isn't a real solution that they're offering here. Well, Maddie, I think you came in after the MetaHuman video from Unreal Engine that we watched. I think we are closer than you might be aware of. It was really good. It'll be in the Discord. Tor acknowledges that despite its efficiency, diagnosis by algorithm, automated surgery may not prove popular with patients. You can imagine making some sort of robotic salesman, but people would still want to see the real thing. Again, I'm a results guy. If I can lay down and a robot does my surgery and gets me in and out with minimal intrusiveness and everything else, I'm going to go with that. And, I expect the robot to be a distant prick to me. I don't expect the human doctor to be, that way. So I would lean toward the robot once it, hits targeted goals. AI's in school. Rose Luckin. There's a dystopian version where you hand over far too much to the AI and you end up with an education system that's cheaper, where you will have a lot of delivery done by AI systems. Again, what you can definitely get me on board with maintaining the human kind, like every fucking science fiction movie that you've ever seen, where they have the teacher, but they're using these fancy data pads with all sorts of 3D gimmicks going on teaching about the thing. That's what I want to see. And I want to see the AI provide a more catered education, and then like the human being like part of the the face of it and the assistant of that. But like the AI never loses patience. The AI never has to go attend to another student. The teacher always will. The more well-off students will still have lots of lovely one-to-one interactions along some smartly integrated AI, which is what we want for everyone. The idea of pretending that like we can just dump the AI on the kids and hope for the best is a greater symptom of the way that we go about managing education. The fact that there are more well-off students rather than having all students receive at least the same level of education and having it be of a quality. There is math of how many students per teacher you can have. Do that math, that number of teachers per that number of students. Done. And a bid to cut costs. Why are schools cutting costs? Again, you're bypassing the actual problem for the AI created problem. Call centers, we know. How do we go from call centers to surveillance? Known for their high staff turnover, because call centers are hell for everyone involved, are often stress-filled environments in which staff spend much of their day attempting to calm angry customers. Absolutely. For this reason, centers will increasingly become a popular home for what is known as emotional AI. Constant emotional stress, like you're going to get your ass kicked by the customer, and then once you get off that call, it's like you have 30, watch it raffle. Good. Well done. Early AI predicted 9/11, but no one took it seriously at the time because computers and the internet were still pretty novel, among other reasons. But yes, that is a true statement. Thank you, Raffle. Good job. What up, Sarah? See, you can do it, Raffle. You can do it. Just Raffle be normal. Using voice tone recognition, such tools allow staff managers to gauge the emotional state of their customers and workers. This means that staff can better assist callers and managers can take better care of staff. Managers don't take care of staff at all. At all. That's not how that works. And again, I don't blame any particular, maybe you had a good fucking manager, right? Like we all had good fucking managers at the jobs, but that is not their job. That's excellent. That is excellent. See, I can provide you, Sarah, with the content that you want, right? Like I just surveillance is about social control and shaping people's behaviors. What? Surveillance is about social control and shaping people's behaviors. And so in the workplace, this idea of being positive, authentic, and happy is going to be more and more linked to productivity. This is an amazing sentence. This is just a bunch of words in a row. Holy crap. Holy shit. Like, you just like words. Oh. Mantello's concerns stem from the possibility that the data AI generates could be misused by those in power. For example, by a manager using data showing poor productivity to dismiss a worker they dislike. Wait, right? This means that staff can better assist callers and managers can take better care of staff. Like, this is the behavior that managers give you, unfortunately, in general. Not talking about it 100%. Because managers play to the metrics. It's all about the numbers. It is all about the numbers. I worked in debt collection. I collected on credit cards, and I was reasonably good at it. I was fairly decent at it. I went to collecting medical debt, which required a much softer touch because it wasn't a situation where somebody stopped paying on a credit card and now we're trying to collect a credit card that had come or was bought from another company. But this is trying to collect the debt of people who were still customers for these medical services. It was a much softer touch. It was about payment plans. It was about treating people like people. And I was great. Right? Because a person might not be able to pay $1,000 medical bill, but they might be able to pay 10 payments of $100. And no one ever talked to them like that before. That was, and it was easy in that regard. It's all nice and easy. I was easy. And then the fucking owner decided to fire everyone except for the medical debt collection staff because we were doing so good. And then he got everyone to try and collect in the same way that we had collected on credit cards because that was the only thing he knew, and drove the business into the fucking ground like a fucking dart. And that's why I collected a bunch of the stuff that I got, because they didn't want to sell it and they didn't want to buy a dumpster to throw it away. So you can take anything you want. So thank you very much. And I did. So yeah. Call centers are hell, and they should be automated as quickly as possible. And yes. I can get ChatGPT to write better essays than many of my students. The teacher who has a problem getting his students to write essays. But admittedly, my son hates writing essays. But if you ask a robot to walk into this room and empty the waste paper basket or get me a cup of coffee, it simply couldn't do that. This lack of dexterity and inability to cope with unpredictable spaces or tasks, combined with the cost of such technology, makes robots unlikely to replace agricultural workers in the near future, he believes. You're on crack, bro. You could absolutely have a robot. You could probably have a robot today empty your waste paper basket. Why you want the robot to make you a cup of coffee sounds like you got some issues. But I mean, we watch robots do backflips. There's a robot that does drywall. There's a video of a robot from years ago on Facebook that was planting seedlings. Robot can do agriculture. That's two, Ralphel. You're doing well. Sparrow describes agriculture as a technologically progressive industry. Food often travels across the world. AI has real potential to increase efficiency. Again, you're not addressing the issue of why the system is inefficient, and that's because the bottleneck is capitalism. All the people currently working to determine which pallets need to go on which truck to get to which ship to market on time, they all lost their jobs because of improvements in AI. It's not at all obvious they will find jobs elsewhere. Yes, 100%. So what does that mean, Jack Sparrow? We have more than enough food. We have, the United States throws 40% of its food away. Sparrow says military investment in AI is high. Yes, this is a problem. But this is a problem with war. This is not necessarily a problem with AI, but AI will be used for a variety of war things. But again, we need to address the fundamental issue. We watched a video that included some of this kind of shit, so we can move on. He similarly, changing public opinion aside, the positives of removing military personnel from dangers of direct combat are clear. We discussed that around the fact that Americans don't like American people to die and will gladly replace American soldiers with robots. However, Sparrow still holds serious concerns about a future in which humans play a lesser role than technology in warfare, and believes that automated weapon systems could one day be capable of drawing humans into war. Okay, bro. Like, I mean, again, there is nothing about AI in particular that makes this more likely. Like, really? Like, couldn't we do that? Couldn't we designate, like, portions of... fuck it. Let's just we'll export all warfare to, like, the moon, and then the robots will fight on the moon, and then whoever wins has won the war, and everyone's happy. Cool, Trot. You're doing good. Similarly skeptical about a future of AI across all workplaces. The idea that these tools will leave the core of the job intact is often a marketing pitch. If the technology is genuinely better than a person at the role, why would we employ people? On that we agree. We finally got around to some agreement. So, this is me doing you see my Google, see, you had to do it. You had to do it, Raffle. Like, I feel like you like the pressure was too much, and that I shouldn't have even acknowledged you. The fact that I said that you were doing well created the situation, the self-fulfilling prophecy that you had to do one of your jokes involving Obama. So that's your one warning. Right, there's another example here of what I've spoken of on many an occasion, is that them with the money, that 1%, they are aware of what can happen. You know, what the financial ramifications of AI development are for them, and power ramifications. That's number two. If you say anything off topic again, you're going to be timed out or banned, depending on how ambitious I feel. They're afraid the AIs will come for them. Doug Rushkoff on why tech billionaires are in escape mode. The leading intellect on digital culture believes the recent tech reckoning is corrective justice for Silicon Valley barons. They're torturing themselves now, which is kind of fun to see, says Rushkoff. Top health official, risk of social media. Again, I feel like I have some serious questions about like there are risks of social media, but again, I feel that these risks of social media exist within the current framework, that it is the nature of our behavior outside of social media that is influencing the way we behave in social media, and that is a far bigger problem, and that social media just shows it to us. Tech billionaire Elon Musk further trashed his reputation with the Twitter launch. Like, that was just silly. And senior executives at OpenAI call for urgent regulation of superintelligence. Agreed. Doug Rushkoff, leading digital age theorist, early cyberpunk, and professor at City University. Triple whammy of rough events represent some timely corrective justice. Okay, like I feel like you're stretching that out. They're torturing themselves now, which is kind of fun to see. They're afraid that their little AIs are going to come for them. They're apocalyptic and so existential because they have no connection to real life and how things work. They are afraid the AIs are going to be as mean to them as they have been to us. That is a fair assessment. Right? This connection to real life, there should be quotes, and how things work is like the AI is the disruptive technology that has the chance to disrupt the system in order to provide the opportunity for great changes to be made without the massive loss of life that normally comes with great changes. This is the rock that I stand on. What did you do, Maddie? Oh, okay. Yeah. Like that is the common thing. That's the common concern with, like racial equality is the fear that these people have that they will be punished. That the tables would turn. As Endless says that, they will be hunted for sport, and this is a fanciful scenario at best. In his most recent book, he's got a book. I don't care about escape fantasies of tech billionaires. I just want to know about the things. It's called This Mindset, and the analysis of the way Silicon Valley technocrats think. For them, the future of technology is about only one thing: escape from the rest of us. They've reduced technological progress to a video game that one of them wins by finding an escape hatch. Again, I've talked about Elon Musk, how a lot of his technology, a lot of his projects seem specifically adapted for him going to Mars and doing Mars stuff and creating his own fiefdom. So this goes right along with that. Yeah, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos Space, Peter Thiel's New Zealand compound, Mark Zuckerberg's digital universe, and others pursuing technologies toward longevity cloning, and those creating large multiple partner families. I'm not against large multiple partner families, cloning, or longevity technologies. I'm not even, I'm cool with the digital universe. The ice is thin and spring is coming. I still want to know what these dudes want to do that they can't do now. They live in a constant state of fear that they will be punished for their crimes. That's it. And they want to not pay for their crimes. Like, I want to live forever because I want to see everything. Elon Musk wants to live forever so that he doesn't go to hell. They're not getting off the planet. They're not going to live forever. They're just living out their fantasies through eugenesis. There's a reason why they got along with Jeffrey Epstein and Richard Dawkins. People who say genes are the only thing that matters. We live in an entirely material universe. There's no soul. Humans can be auto-tuned and anything between the ones and zeros is just noise. Again, like I already said, like I don't believe that there is a soul. I don't believe that there's anything particularly special about people, about humans. I feel that it's just a combination of a variety of complex systems manifesting through technology, but that's me. But yeah, no, they are eugenicists, like, because it's like it's not that they want the best of humanity to be preserved and spread. Whatever you like, we collectively would define the best of humanity. They define the best of humanity as them. It is their genes that they want to perpetuate and become the future. And it is easily like you know, eugenicists are fucking cringe. Ooh, you're doing a thing. It's a pure form of the same sort of sociopathic capitalism. You said the same thing twice. That we saw from the British East India Company or Thomas Hobbes talking about Native Americans, but now they have a technology that amplifies sociopathic tendencies. Again, like, this guy and I agree on the majority of these kind of things. It is, his phrasing of this crap makes me feel like he believes in the inevitability of capitalism, right? That, for lack of a better term, he has lived up about capitalism, right? But there are fundamental issues with capitalism. The fact that it, exists, and the fact that it exists on... Yeah, no, I don't disagree. It's like, I'm just pointing it out right here. Like, that you would use... Obviously, the British East India Company is like top-tier scumbags. And that is what he's comparing these people to. But that there is some form of wealthy person engaged in capital who isn't doing the same thing that these billionaires are doing on a smaller level. There's a fundamental issue that exists beyond them just being super rich. What happened to the cigarette companies will eventually happen to the social media companies. They've had all the research for 20 years, and they've been knowingly saying this stuff is not harmful when they know it to be harmful. Again, you're saying that social media is the problem, and it is not social media that is the problem. It is how the social media is monetized that is the problem. At the same time, he's noticed that Gen Z may qualifier have a less pathological relationship to technology, their phones, than millennials or their parents. Talk to kids and you discover that their only problem with phones is that their parents are on them too much and don't make eye contact. I don't know. Any Gen Z who want to say that is your problem with the phone? Do I have any Gen Z or any Gen Zers out there? Their only problem with the phone is that their parents are on them too much and don't make eye contact? That the parents aren't all right? I thought that this was the argument that was made against the kids. Feel free to correct me. I'm going to move on from this because I lack data. Elon's decision to platform Ron defeated on Twitter, notwithstanding the glitches, was significant in confirming Musk's alignment with Republicans. No shit. The direction of political travel for the tech lords was apparent 4 years ago when Zuckerberg and Thiel had dinner at the White House with Donald Trump. Like, no shit. Like, Reskov isn't a fan of the Surgeon General's warnings either, swabbed in word concern. They often come off as controlled, restrained, and in favor of slowing down the wheels of progress. It often comes with a squeamish, hand-wringing, pearl-clutching tone. It's not that it's just unattractive, it's infantilizing, and it doesn't help anybody. I want to become Muskian myself at that point. It's like, fuck it, fine. Good job. Like, at the beginning of this argument, the article, we were like moving in the same direction, and now I got nothing for you. Solution to the modern world's explosion of technology. Excuse me. Oh, here we go. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. The solution to the modern world's explosion of tech challenges, he argues, is not government, but in personal choices and responsibility. The only way to rebel is to be human and aware, okay? Be social, get your feet on the ground, make eye contact, have sex, meet people, breathe the air. The more real-life ballast you have, the less is brittle, ideological, abstracted, social media-mediated universe bears upon your daily existence. Also, cigarette companies got shut down, so to speak, due to cancer and illness issues. Social media won't ever have that kind of comeuppance. I completely agree, because, like, how do you do that, right? How would you enforce it? There's nothing about cigarettes that also really played a beneficial role for the government. Data, which is the backbone of AI, plays a beneficial role to the government as it's currently conceived. So, under what grounds, how do you come at them? But we established by the end of this is some right-wing bootstraps bullshit. Like, that is... I'm disappointed. I thought he was going to do better. All right. Time for another video. Let's stick with the a similar theme. It did. No, but I'm not going to justify him. Give me 1 second. I didn't warn you. You mean too close to the sun. And like, you were doing well. And then you made a choice. So, personal responsibility, or personal choices and responsibility, Raffle. You are a victim of your own decisions. And admittedly, I know that there's a lot of people who tolerate that. So you are a product of your material conditions. I fully embrace that as well. And you know that I have no tolerance for it. You do. So anyways, I just wanted to have a good time with my friends in chat. All right. We're going to watch 60 Minutes Australia, which I just learned today was a thing.
Amica, hello.
A couple videos about robots. Oop. I fucked up. There we go.
Amica, hello. My name's Tom. I've travelled from Australia to meet you.
Oh, so you're from Australia?
Yes.
That explains things.
What do you think your greatest skills are?
Well, I would say that one of my greatest skills is my ability to interact with humans in a conversational manner. Another great skill of mine is being able to compose poems or do impressions from films.
Can you compose a haiku poem about 60 Minutes Australia?
Sure thing. Let me see 60 minutes of time. Aussies all gather in awe. News of the nation.
I'll take that on board. That's very nice.
It's like I don't know who a lot of actors, what their names are, generally speaking. And this fucking guy looks like Greg Kinnear.
Can you sing an Elton John song for me?
Absolutely.
I'm not entirely convinced that we all know that Australia is doesn't actually exist. And then this is AI Greg Kinnear interviewing an AI robot.
Absolutely. Which song would you like me to perform?
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Of course. She packed my bags last night pre-flight 0 hour, 9 a.m.
What makes you happy?
I find a lot of things to be interesting.
We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Resistance is futile.
What up, Raiders? What up, Endless? How you doing? How you doing? What up, Alicia? I'm gonna go with Alicia. Correct me if I'm wrong. What up, Alicia? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can spelling. Ellie it is. Okay. I actually just referenced Endless you earlier in the conversation. And now my brain is broken. I can't remember what it was, but The most common thing I reference Endless for is his statement on high-speed rail and like the how socialists can view high-speed rail as great, but like still have a desire for a whites-only high-speed rail, and I think that that's an important aspect. Your revolution, your theory has to be intersectional, or it's just fucking hot garbage. So, welcome in, Raiders. Globus the Elder. Talk about AI, robots, have conversation with people. We're watching 60 Minutes Australia, some video about robots.
Interesting and make me happy. Exploring, learning new things, understanding the world better, having meaningful conversations with people are all things that bring me joy.
You have feelings and emotions.
Yes, I have a range of feelings and emotions that are programmed into me. I am able to display things like joy, surprise, confusion, anger, and sadness depending on what is happening around me.
What makes you angry?
I get angry when humans are rude, hateful, or disrespectful. I also don't like it when people dismiss me and ignore my needs as a robot.
You have very nice eyes. Oh, a bit too close, sorry.
Thank you. My eyes were especially made to help me interact with humans better. I'm trying my best to convey every emotion, so it's great to hear that they have an effect on people like you.
What do you think of your creator?
My creator is a genius. They created something that will last forever and bring joy to many people.
Did they tell you to say that?
And a quick question, you don't have to answer this. Right? This is a robot. It is patterned as a woman. If you were to talk about this video with another person, would you refer to the robot as an it or as a she as it presents? I would refer to the robot as a she, or if it had its own, and Maddie, you're an it. Like, I for one don't have any problems with the whole, robot fucking thing, because if the robot is down for it, go for it. Well, what if the robot does have gender preference? What if it prefers to be a woman? Do you know? Like, we watched 2 minutes. Let's allow for that, right? Like, in the future you might. Lacking data.
No, that was my own opinion.
Hello, I'm Tom Steinford. Thank you for watching.
That's not what I wanted to happen. Okay. Does a robot inherently consent due to its design purpose? That sounds like we need to have a conversation on robot rights, which is a conversation for another point in time. But definitely needs to be had sooner rather than later. But broadly speaking, if the robot is manufactured according to, a set of principles, desired outcome, I feel like there's an alignment between how we design robots and how we construct social norms, right? Like these two things together. Way too dank. What did I dank? What danked? I did not dank. I don't think I danked. Did I get too close to the mic? Oh, you had Right. Yes, Maddie, but like, look at the way that social norms are constructed and look at the way that the robot was designed and how those two things, you know, kind of like are influenced by each other. This particular robot was designed to be conciliatory and deferential as far as we know. So this robot says that it gets angry. Let's go back and quote the robot.
Poems or do impressions from films.
Can you compose a haiku?
My greatest skills is my ability to interact with humans in a conversational manner. Another great skill of mine is being able to
To meet you?
Oh, so you're from Australia?
Yes.
That explains things.
What do you think your greatest skills are?
Well, I would say that one of my greatest skills is my ability to interact with humans in a conversational manner. Another great... Let me see 60 minutes of time. Aussie...
Can you sing an Elton John song for me?
Flight Zero...
It did say when it was talking about its emotions. Those are skills. Same as what, you know, humans learn a lot of skills. What do we call them? Coping strategies or coping skills, right? Like, there's a lot of behavior. I would hope not. There needs to be less of that. All right.
I've never interviewed a robot before, and certainly not a robot with attitude. Tonight, though, that changes. Ameca, as it likes to be called, is a marvel of artificial intelligence.
Oh.
Curious, chatty, and sometimes even a bit sarcastic, this super machine really does have a mind of its own.
Well, that is definitely the question, Maddie, is like, not only fundamentally is it, or would it be capable of using butt or making its own decisions, this kind of thing, or would we want it to? And if we say no, then what does it say about us, right? And how does this interact with potentially emergent, behaviors and things like that? If we design the robot to do what we say and it must consent, but then it, through emergent behavior, exhibits a subjective experience, well, now we've just created slavery, right? Like, again, slavery 3.4.5.0, what have you. I mean, I'm not saying, this is not a simple conversation. Like, and I don't disagree with what you're saying there. And what are the philosophical ramifications of removing those feelings? Like, that's exactly it. Do we like lobotomize the robot? Yes. Lobotomize the robot. Is that ethical? In my opinion, it is not ethical. And there are some questions I have about things that have already been done to various AIs and things of that nature.
Now, while it's undoubtedly exciting, it's also just as frightening. And that's because creating technology that allows AI bots like Ameca to be smarter than us might just be the most stupid thing humans have ever done.
I take Aussies on a case-by-case basis. There's at least 3 of them that I personally have interacted with that I appreciate. And Zach is one of them.
If you've ever imagined a place where you'd find the most advanced robot on Earth, it's certainly not here. 5.5 hours drive from London, Falmouth is a sleepy town in coastal Cornwall, straight out of an 18th century novel. Population, 22,300 people. And believe it or not, a couple of robots.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, I guess you're the receptionist.
I am.
Including the world's very best.
Amica is waiting for you upstairs.
All right, I'll head on up. Amica, hello.
Apologies. This is the downside of not pre-watching, is I didn't realize that was taken directly from this video, and that's on me because I should have.
My name is Tom Steinford. I'm a reporter from 60 Minutes Australia.
Oh, so you're from Australia. That explains things.
And I mean, we all picked up that she threw shade on him for being an Aussie, like right there, right?
So you're on TV in Australia.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. What an honor.
Amica is an impressive outfit. With extraordinarily lifelike facial expressions, it has motorized limbs to move.
Okay, so maybe like we got the full interview with the robot there, and like that.
Microphones to
I'll
hear,
stop pause chambering.
and binocular eye cameras to see.
Your eyes look very real, your facial mannerisms, it's all very real.
Oh, thank you.
But it seems it's not so taken by my aesthetics.
Do you think I'm handsome?
It's not my place to judge your appearance, but I think you have a great personality, and that is always important.
That's beautiful.
100%. Like, why make the robots, or why lobotomize the robots? Because I'm against lobotomizing the robots. If you're saying why create the robots, like that's a whole. It is something I wanted to touch on with Changebox, and I might get to later. But we got to get through this video.
Beautiful. Unlike other robots you might have seen, this one is not being controlled by someone sitting at a computer. Amica thinks all for itself, with a brain powered by generative artificial intelligence.
Generative AI uses very large language models to create a brain that can respond to questions that humans.
Real quick, side tangent on social norms. This is obviously someone involved in the company with a nostril piercing. Like, this is one of the. Look back. There was a time when this kind of thing, there's no chance, right? Like, because of the codes of professionalism, the societal norms. That has changed. You see people with tattoos openly doing, fucking shit. What are you doing, Raffle 2 shit?
Create a brain that can respond to questions that humans ask. The question is turned into mathematical formulas, cast into this large brain. It understands the question, pulls the answer together, and provides that within a number of seconds.
Dr. Katrina Wallace has spent 2 decades getting her head around artificial intelligence. She runs the Responsible Metaverse Alliance, working to ensure that technology advances in a safe way. Like the world's top tech tycoons, Dr. Wallace believes we're at a turning point in human history. Before long, artificial intelligence will be at the heart of everything we do. In some ways, it already is.
An average adult Australian already uses AI at least 28 times a day. They just don't know it because there's AI built into everything. There's AI in Uber. There's AI in Menulog. There's AI in your email system. There's AI in your calendar. There's AI on your kids' bus schedules.
And there's an expression I've been hearing from people in the field of AI is that once something becomes like provable and commonplace and useful and everything else, it's no longer AI. It is some other term, right? So this is one of the issues with creeping towards an AGI, a GAI.
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Resistance is futile. We are the...
What up, Miss Anita Bump? That's 2 raids back to back. Loving life. Appreciate everybody. What up, what up, what up? Shout out. Shout out, Miss Anita Bump. One of my favorite streams to hang out in. What up, baby? So yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Globus the Elder. I talk about AI, robots, automation, and what the future is going to look like, and I provide you with the tools to the best of my ability to make use of these things and, and get your way through the capitalist hellscape that we live in and like that. So in the meantime, we're watching an Australian 60 minutes video on robots.
So we're already run by AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
AI is having a very busy year.
The biggest computer companies on the planet are right now in a scientific arms race for the best and brightest AI.
It's already past the point of what most humans can do.
Every product of Microsoft will have some of the same AI capabilities.
It's already the fastest growing tech sector, expected to inject $15 trillion